Welcome back to Wise Up Biz Talk, where they find a business lesson in everything and help you wise up. Let's get started with your hostesses, Em and Kim.
All right, Kim, what do you think about all the controversy about these larger organizations taking these small business loans?
I mean, when you define, okay, so I was reading up on this and they say that the qualification for the fund apply to any business that doesn't employ more than 500 people at a single location. So if you think about it, if we follow that qualification, then they do qualify for the loan.
So the government made a big mistake by not identifying and describing what a small business entity was, and or the media also misrepresented what this actually was, because they were like, this is your small businesses, small businesses, small businesses, but that doesn't sound like what that says.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think that everything blew up because of the media. So if the media never brought this attention to the public, then they will quietly pocket the money.
Yeah, well, I'm glad the media is bringing attention to the public. And it also means our government needs to be very specific. And even though they're trying to move quickly, this just reinstills my lack of confidence in our government to actually implement policies, because it's like some of these things just seem sort of obvious. And if you have the right people in the room to have these conversations, they would have said this stuff,
Well, I feel like the people that's running the country, they're not small business owners. So they don't understand, what is necessary to run a small business.
Well, that's actually not true. Some of them are or have been small business owners. They're investors, things like that. So I do think they have a play in it, but I don't. But sometimes, even if you used to own a small business, now you're sitting your butt in Congress, doesn't necessarily mean that you're with the times, because you've been kind of focused elsewhere,
I mean,
But I hold the government responsible partially for this. I do, because I feel like you should have been smart enough to identify who qualified for this and who didn't,
So this is the first time that this pandemic ever happened. We're like worldwide. So I guess it's just something to learn for the future. If it happened again, knock on wood, no, I hope not.
So we should give some grace to our government and their mistakes they're making.
Yeah, so we're learning. I mean, they're learning from it. So next time you're like, oh, well, last time we did this, so maybe we should add some more verbiage to it.
Well, now, okay, so let's talk about some of these businesses. Some of them are like Potbelly, Taco Cabana.
So they're like traded funds, traded companies. So they have other means to raise capital too as well. So this is not their last resource. So I think that the government, they brought this up. The PPP is for like small businesses that don't have other resource or other means to raise capital.
Right. Well, and apparently the government's going back after him saying, look, you need to return the money or you're going to be penalized for it.
Before May the 7th.
And also, so as a business owner, okay, let's say you take your idea, your billion-dollar idea, and you turn it into a big business, okay? So you start out as a small business, and then you turn into a big business, okay? And as you did that, this opportunity comes up. Now, you're legally and lawfully allowed to apply for this. Why wouldn't you?
I guess now I need to keep in mind that just don't take your business to the market and have a public traded company.
Well, but also too, though, like, what's the ethics behind it? You know that as a business, there's an allotted amount of dollars, right? It's not like this is unlimited, okay? There's not an unlimited amount of money in here. So if you are a business who's thriving, you have heavy cash reserves, or you have other means of raising capital, why would you even apply for this?
I mean, if I have other means to raise capital, then I wouldn't consider it. But maybe I would consider because of the low interest rate, the incentive that was given. And
I know. But if you think about it, on the ethical side of it, you have other means of raising capital, even
Okay,
at higher
so
interest rates.
as a business owner,
And you're taking it away from Miss Mamie's nail shop.
well, I qualify, so why not? And
True.
I mean, if you're a business owner, you have to look at numbers. So if the SBA PPP is offering me 1% or 2%, and it's better than the loan over here where it's offering 12%, I mean, which loan are you gonna take?
Well, that's true.
Right?
That's true. I guess I'm on the fence on this because I can see it from that perspective as well. I just think that if you have the means to survive this time, you should have, and knowing that there was a cap on this, you should have allowed those dollars to go elsewhere. And maybe the government, this is where the government failed and is learning and is kind of going through this process. But I think the government definitely needs to take a step back, get that money back, and give it out. But also, I saw when I was reading through this controversial issue that a lot of small businesses are upset with the banks, like the JP Morgans and the Bank of Americas. This is as per article. This is not my opinion. CNBC's article, to be specific. But they're upset saying, look, you prioritize bigger businesses, bigger organizations over the small business. Do you think that that's true? And if it is, how can you even prove it? You know? So I don't know. It makes me kind of question my relationship with my bank, seeing that, like.
Well, I mean, that's why they suggest.
They're also a business.
Well, they suggest that small business owners, we should work with local banks instead of the big national banks.
Mm-hmm.
So you build a relationship with your bankers or with your loan specialists or something like that, over time. And whenever you're in this situation, then that's what happened to my sister, because my sister did business with this bank over and over again. So whenever this opportunity opened up, they were the first one that got called.
Right. And she also had a personal relationship, so she could call them and be like, hey, what's my option? So, I don't know. I'm thinking about maybe switching banks.
Yeah.
I do like the convenience, but I think I'm just going to move my money into more of a local bank and then maybe just keep this current national banking system as an option just because it's convenient. And that's kind of my issue with some of the local banking is they don't have as large of a convenience as like locations or resources, online resources, things like that, So
like, I guess whenever your business grow to a certain point where you need more personal relationship, then a local banks, I believe, will handle it better or offer that they can offer you a better interest or loans or maybe get qualifications even faster. Because with a bigger banks, maybe you have to go through like many different departments or many different qualifications than a local banks too.
Yeah. Well, we should talk about that in another podcast, is how to choose the right banking system for the way you're set up. But first, you're going to have to be structured properly. Well, I guess to summarize this, this whole thing it is controversial. I kind of am on the fence, but at the end of the day, as part of the CARES Act, and when you applied for the application, the borrower had to specifically say in good faith that this PPP loan request was necessary.
Okay, so let's go back to like Potbelly and Taco Cabana, right? So they're big companies where they have some own location, like a corporate owned locations. So how about those franchisees? With the franchisees, I think that they should be able to qualify for their own loans for their own locations.
Well, I mean, who's to say they didn't? Because I don't know. I mean, in my opinion, I don't think that when Taco Cabana applied for this loan, I don't know. Well, number one, I don't know their finances. So they probably in good faith may have needed it for their overall organization. I have no idea. I'm not looking at their numbers. Okay. But if you apply for the corporate owned locations, I don't think you can give those funds to your franchise. Yeah. Or I don't know. It might just be in their contract too. Be a good question for an attorney.
Let me call.
Because I would imagine if you have your own LLC or your own organization, I'm not sure. I think it depends on how the franchise is set up. Because if that was the case, if Taco Cabana or Potbelly, because they both own their corporate-owned locations and also have franchise locations, if they took the funding and allocated to their franchisees, then I kind of don't have a problem with that at all.
Uh-huh.
But I don't know because, again, we're reading an article where it just said Taco Cabana took the loan. And we don't know all the details about it. And this is why people should not get emotionally triggered by content on the media because you don't have the whole story, right? But it's just worth thinking about and kind of formulating an opinion, and that's totally okay. So I'm not sure, but if you're publicly traded, you have 2 weeks to give the money back. But I have a feeling that if you don't, there's going to be, I don't know, are they going to get penalized?
Yeah, they're going to get penalized for it. So I don't know. They talked about the penalty that was involved.
And I'm kind of interested to see what the bank's responses are going to be as far as prioritizing certain people over others. I know for my bank, I just have a checking account with them. I don't have loans with them. I've never needed that, which may be my own mistake. I'm not sure. But also, I never had a line of credit with them. I've just never been in a position where I needed that, and they would not loan me the money for my small business. So,
well, I guess you have to build more relationship. I guess utilize them even more, expand your business. Obtain some more loans, get in more debts.
Well, I mean, isn't that kind of a catch-22 though? My business is operating with no debt, but I have to get into debt to qualify for loans from the federal government. So, but you know what? I learned from this lesson. So whatever bank I choose moving forward, I'm definitely going to at least get a line of credit established so that there's some kind of lending relationship. And I get it. They want a lending relationship to prove that you're a good payer. I totally
think
get that.
There's another
my credit should speak for itself
as well. Like if you do qualify for another type of business line of credit, you don't qualify for the PPP as well.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
All the rules. All right. Well, that's how I feel about that. Is I'm on the fence on some of it and outraged by other parts of it. Whoop!
You guys time.
Thank you for joining us today on Wise Up Biz Talk. If you enjoyed, please subscribe and leave a rating. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube at Wise Up Biz Talk. Please share our episodes on your business page with friends and family so they too can wise up. Always a business lesson in everything. See you on the next episode.